Aztec football coach Brady Hoke began his press conference today by congratulating his own school's men's soccer team. Why did he do that? Well, the men's soccer team at Sdsu is off to a 6-0-2 start this year. They're ranked 13th in the nation, off to their best start since 2005. And most impressively, this team leads the nation in defense. They've only allowed one goal in 8 games.
What?
Yeah. How about that? They have 5 consecutive shutouts as they head into a showdown with second-ranked Washington on Thursday, a match you can watch on the Pac-12 network. And to all of that end, joining us is the new head coach at San Diego State, the man leading them to this early success, is Mr. Ryan Hopkins. Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on as well. I appreciate it.
Hey, we're excited to have you on, definitely. Here's my question before we get to anything else, Ryan. You guys have given up 1 goal in 8 matches this year that came against Cal Poly. Is there any way you can recruit the kid from Cal Poly who scored the goal?
And it's actually really funny that the goal came off a set piece too, so it wasn't even in the run of play. It was off a long throw in our box, and it just kind of bounced around, and we didn't do well enough to clear it. So I actually haven't been scored on in the run of play, which probably makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, get that kid on your team. Hey, you were at Virginia last year and an assistant there. They went to the national championships. Tell us a little bit how you heard about San Diego State and what attracted you to this opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually grew up in California. Grew up in Huntington Beach. Went to Huntington Beach High School and went to college. Played at Concordia University. It was NAI at the time, and now moved up to Division II ranks. So I'd always kind of known about San Diego State and been down to San Diego State visiting friends and things of that nature. So it'd always been kind of something in my mind of, I think that's a little bit of a sleeping giant. It's a place, I think it would be a great place to live. I think, amazing education, part of the top California state school, certainly in my opinion. So I was just, it was always something that was in, the back of my mind. And, I kind of went along my path. I've had a couple different stops. Obviously, like you said, was at Virginia, with my latest stop. And, yeah, quite honestly, it was a place I loved, and I loved being there. And, it took something, pretty special to take me away from that. And like I said, I just always felt like San Diego State was a dream job. There were so many good things in place with the new stadium coming in, being in the Pac-12, obviously the location, as I spoke about, education. So just so many good things, about it. And, kind of they contacted me actually during the Final Four when I was at Virginia, and had kind of said I wanted to get through the Final Four and put my focus on winning national championship. And so actually, oddly enough, I went on vacation to Australia and New Zealand, and so I actually had my first phone interview for the job while I was in New Zealand. So that was actually a pretty interesting part of the process. And yeah, just kind of went through the process and came on campus, and just really fell in love with it. And yeah, they really enjoyed the culture that I wanted to build and the program that I felt that I could bring here, and it just became a real natural fit.
Coach Ryan Hopkins here with us on 97.3 The Fan, Aztecs men's soccer head coach. And I'm looking at your stats earlier, and your opponents have 86 shots on goal. I want to go back to this whole 1 goal thing because I think this is pretty cool that you guys have only given up 1 goal on the entire season. So 86 shots on goal, 1 goal. What do you attribute that to? Is it the goalkeeper or is it your defense?
I think it's both, and I think talking about our defense, I think it's an entire team effort. We require a lot out of our attacking players. We play, with an extremely high pressing system, so we require our attackers have to, kind of be our first line of defense, kind of like a full court press in basketball. We want to pick up our opponents as close to their goal as possible, obviously to create turnovers and, quick attacks that we can score in less time. So that's kind of my way of convincing our attacking players that it's like, hey, it's actually helping your attacking to do all this work. And certainly we've got a fantastic back line, that kind of, that next layer, our midfielders, and then, that back line. And then, certainly our goalkeeper to clean everything else up after that. But I would say, it's just been a total team effort, and the work, that they put in, the physical work. I mean, there's a lot of running to be done in our system. I would say, most games our guys are, we wear GPS during the games, and our top guys are running anywhere from 10 to 12 miles, every single game. Yeah, twice a week, probably between training and our games, our guys are, covering about 30 miles a week.
Oh my gosh.
Which, it's a pretty intense load that they put in. And, it's just the nature of college soccer. So I would just say, it's just an entire team effort, and, from the back to the front for sure.
Yeah. I think after about 9 miles, I might just have to let the guy go.
9? Are you kidding
Leave
me?
it up to the goalkeeper.
Are you kidding me? I'm like training for a 5K, and I can't even
amazing.
get there.
Ryan Hopkins is with us.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, you guys knock off Stanford a couple of weeks ago, and a team San Diego State hadn't beaten in 10 years, a team that wins national championships with regularity. I got to believe that gives you guys the kind of confidence to know that, you're not only ranked 13th, but maybe you kind of belong there. It sounds like you got a pretty good team. I know you said earlier you guys are probably a little ahead of schedule where you thought you'd be in the rebuilding process, but confidence can go a long way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And kind of taken from Ted Lasso. I don't know if you guys are a fan of or watch any of that, but it's just that belief, and that belief, in the group has, really, really given us, that little bit of an extra. We've had a couple crazy games. We beat UC Davis literally with 1 second on the clock. Obviously, beating Stanford, in overtime as well. So it's just, it's been a growing process, and it's just been fun to see kind of the group grow up before my eyes. Not a lot of people know we really only play, 2 seniors. I would say 90 to 95% of the guys that, log the minutes have 3 and 4 years of eligibility left. So it's a really, really young team that's growing. And, I think the really special thing is, we're learning a lot of lessons without losing. And I think that's the mark of, hopefully something pretty special. So, but I think the Stanford game, I kind of told the guys before the game, I think is like, this is the type of game like where you make a statement. I think we're pretty good, but maybe the country hasn't fully woken up to how good you guys are. And, not that that's something we really, really worry about too much, but I just think that was the game of like putting our statement of, like you said, they won, 3 national titles in the last, 6 or 7 years. Won, probably 7 Pac-12 championships. So they're kind of the staple program, and a program of just consistency that we want. That's where we want our program to be. We want our program to be mentioned in the Stanfords and the Washingtons, the Wake Forest, the Virginias, the Marylands of the world. And, we've been there. This program was in the national final in 1987.
That's right.
That's my goal to.
Chuck Clegg was my neighbor one time many years ago. Yes, and I was in school at that time, so I remember the Aztecs making it. So I know it definitely happened.
Coach Ryan Hopkins here with us from the Aztecs men's soccer team, the head coach, and you guys are going up to Seattle to play Washington here on Thursday. Now, you said that the new stadium and everything was a great draw for you. Being in the Pac-12, I have to think, is a great draw for you. And when your team is playing as well as it is right now and not having lost a game, is there any recruiting momentum that the men's soccer program can get from this? And are you do you need to strike now with the buzz around the team? No,
it's a great question. And, we've, and recruiting's been really interesting, certainly for me and my staff since we took over. I took over in February. 3 weeks later, we were shut down completely for COVID. And all in-person recruiting. We just started in-person recruiting June 1st. So it's been, a long process. And, we've been a little bit slower of, I wanted to see kids live and I wanted to meet them. And I think finding out who they were is, more important to me than, their talent throughout the recruiting process. So we went a little bit slower, and I give a lot of credit to my 2 assistants, Carlos Aguilar and Bryce Cregan. They, did a lot of the grinding. We had, something like 18 visits between July 15th and like the start of the season. Literally every other day we had a kid on campus, and we're pretty thorough in the recruits. It's not like they're just coming in and meeting me for an hour. It's a full day, kind of activities going on. So it's a lot of work, and those guys did, phenomenal to identify the right character guys. And just announced today, Top Drawer Soccer is kind of like our rivals or our, ESPN, kind of rankings, and our recruiting class for 2022 is ranked number 3 in the country right now. Yeah. So I think, we hit it at the right time, I think, of getting all the kids in, and, we got them, to show them everything about the program and show them about us and got them excited. And then I think the winning kind of just pushed, a lot of those kids over the top of like, okay, we see your vision. Okay, now we really see it in, the physical actions on the field. And I think that just really, helps solidify a lot of those decisions. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to really enjoy it right now, because, you just don't, college soccer is interesting. It moves pretty fast. So with so many games in a week, and, so I'm trying to also just live in the moment and not worry too much about the future. Obviously, as a coach, that's impossible, but trying to balance that between the two for sure.
Well, Ryan, I'll tell you one thing. I used to call some of the games for the Aztec Network, and I was there 4 or 5 years ago when San Diego State soccer beat number 1 ranked Akron to kick off a season. And one of the few times I've seen in a San Diego State event, the fans poured the field. I mean, just rolled the field. It was awesome. And I know people are getting excited about your team. There's a lot of great soccer fans in San Diego. So good luck keeping it going. And whatever happens, don't be a stranger. Catch up with us a little later come postseason time, and we'll certainly keep your eye on things. Good luck Thursday in Seattle.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Love to come on anytime. Thank you guys for the support, and we'll chat with you soon.
Hey, love it. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Ryan Hopkins right there, the head coach of the Red Hot San Diego State